welcome. Hope you're doing well this morning. I'm just starting my day. I think today I'm just gonna listen to music if I can get it to work here. Hey, good morning. Hope you're doing well. My day has just begun. I guess it started an hour, almost 2 hours ago. No, I'm making bagels. Listening to some Debussy, Cloud Debussy. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm using an iPhone. It's on a Wi-Fi network or whatever. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I should get a new phone. Maybe that would help. Need a faster phone. Just cleaning my boards here. It's like I'm on a public web, like public Wi-Fi, so it might be that too. I'm on the business Wi-Fi. I don't know if it should be fast though. You'd think. So I don't have much to chat about this morning. Hopefully you find what I'm doing interesting. That's a nice clean Shiva, ready to go. I could recite a poem for you if you'd like, or I could tell you a story. I need to get a better wireless speaker. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know how to fix that. That's too bad. I wonder what's going on. I should check my internet connection, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for watching. How hot my boards are. The steam. Hamlin towns in Brunswick by famous Hanover City. The river West are deep and wide, washed its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nest the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last, people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking. To think we buy gowns lined with vermin, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking to find the remedy we are lacking, for sure his fate will send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "Before I gilder I'd my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Gypsy said this what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little through under his fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long, clear coat from a yielded head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek, nor beard on chin, but lips for smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table. "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, to crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper. People call me the Pied Piper." And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe to match with his coat of self-same check. And that scarf's end hung a pipe. His fingers, they noticed, were ever straying, as if patient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. Yes, said he, Pied Piper as I am, in Tartary I fled the Cam, last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I eased in Asia than I am, of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the exclamation of astonished merit corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and a muttering grew to a grumbling, and a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, 2 rat lad home his commentary, which was, at first shrill note of the pipe, heard a sound as a scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses bright, the moving away of pickle-tub boards, leaving a jar of concert cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, to break hoops of butter casks. It seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harper by solitary tree, called out, "O rats, rejoice! The world is thrown to a vast saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your lunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, just some bulky sugar punch on, already staved like the great sun shone. Gracious scarcity before me, just bethought and said, come bore me, found the west rolling over me." You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells and they rock the steeple. "Go," cried the mayor, "get along the poles, poke out the nests and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats." When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, the first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Moselle, Linda, Groundhog, and half the money would replenish their sellers' biggest butt of reddish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow, the gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink. What's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your poke. But as to the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, the losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, "No trifling, I can't wait beside. I've promised a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and except for prime the head cook's pottage, all he's rich in, for having left in the caliph's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I prove no bargain driver. If you don't think I'll bait a stiver, and folks who put me in a passion, they find me pipe after another fashion." "How," cried the mayor, "do you think I grew up, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vesture piebald? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst." Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe, his smooth straight cane. And ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as yet musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowds, justling and pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, little tongues chattering, like foals in the farmyard when barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping right merrily after. Wonderful music with shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb and the council stood, as if they're changed in a blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by. Could only follow with an eye a joyous crowd of pipers back, and how the mayor was on the rack. The wretched council's bosoms beat, as the piper turned from the high street, to where the west rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never cost the money talk, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, the wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed. When all were in at the very last, the door of the mountainside shut fast. Did I say, oh, no one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way? And in after years, if we blame his sadness, he's used to say, this dawn our town since my playmates left, I can't forbid that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. For he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town in jest at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers to forth a fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrows bred the peacock here, the dogs that ran or fallow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame foot would be speedily cured, the music stopped and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear about the country more. Alas, alas, for Hamlet, it came to many a burner's fate, a text which says at heaven's gate, hope search at as easy rate, as a needle's eye takes a camel weight. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south, talked to the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, bring the children behind him. But when they saw it was lost and never, the piper and dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, in a better memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing pipe or tabor was sure for his future lose his labor, nor suffered they hospitaller or tavern, shocked with mirth the street so solemn. And opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were Japan a long time ago in a mighty band, out of Hamlin towns and Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats and mice, if we promise not, let us keep our promise. Morning. Hey, hello. Witches cauldron. Yeah, it's a bagel cauldron. I'm a bagel witch. Bagel sorcerer. Magic spell. My steam ball spell. I'm a bagel witch. A bagel witch. Yeah, this is one way to make a bagel. I'm sure there's other ways to make bagels. This is the Montreal style that we're doing right here. I imagine, I'm pretty sure New York style bagels are made slightly differently. I think the most important thing is whether or not they're boiled. Boiled is steamed. I don't know. This is the only way I know how to make a bagel. So, but I'm sure there's many different ways of making bagels. These are Montreal style bagels, well, Montreal bagels Vancouver style, we'll say. would it be easy to do at home? Yeah, it wouldn't be the same. You could do it in a, yeah, I'm sure you could do it in a regular oven, but it wouldn't be the same, I guess. The crust would be a little bit different. Yeah, we're Canadians. We are Canadian. Canadians love bagels. You can buy it just on this intersection here. There's there's 3 different places you can buy a bagel at. You can buy a bagel at Starbucks. You can buy a bagel at City Market, and you can buy a bagel here. You might be able to buy a bagel at the Esso too. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Bagels are everywhere here in Canada. Sweden, nice. I get a lot of people from Sweden watching. Do we ship them? I don't think they'd be very fresh. We could probably. You'd want to put them on a Concord or something like that. Probably cost you a few $1,000s to get them there fresh though. Bagels don't really stay fresh very long. I like eating them within 6 hours of them being baked. But I know that I'm sort of spoiled though, so I'm able to eat bagels every day if I want to, for free. And so I like them really fresh. But yeah, they normally last 2 or 3 days on the countertop. Perhaps you can freeze them. Well, I guess you can freeze them if you want to last longer than that. Bagels. Yeah, I'll show you one that's baked here in a moment. This is a baked one here, right here. That's a baked bagel. Fully baked. So they go in the pot for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then they're in the oven for about 20 minutes, I guess. Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes, I guess. So it takes about half an hour to bake from start to finish. But I currently have 2 batches in the oven right now, and one in the pot, and I just took out one. So I always have multiple batches going at the same time. It's usually prepared the day before. We don't make the dough on location. We make it at a central commissary, and they mix the dough, roll it, and then they put it on trays and they freeze it, and then the frozen dough goes into boxes, and then they ship them to our locations. So we do make them, the dough is frozen, and then we boil it. We boil it, then bake it. The Montreal style the Montreal style of baking bagels is actually Ukrainian in origin, apparently, according to my research. So this is actually a Ukrainian technique. These are Ukrainian style bagels. Yes, I'll show. I'll show you one in here in a second here. Yeah, the Ukrainians are really innovative because they have a really innovative cuisine. Yeah, there's a bagel right there. That's the sesame bagel. We boil them in honey water, so that's what makes the seeds stick and gives a little bit of flavor. Do you make the hole? No, like what we make it into a long strip. And then you cut it, and then you roll it into a ring, and so the hole. We're not actually punching the hole out or anything. That's how you make a donut. A donut you flatten the dough out, and then you'd have like a donut shaper, or like what do you call it, stencil or whatever. But with bagels, you're actually rolling the dough into rings. You just roll it along rope, and then you cut it, and you roll it into a ring. We use a machine though. Let me turn the music down here a bit. Yeah, the bagel hole doesn't actually exist. Whereas with donuts, you know, like Tim Hortons is really famous here in Canada, and they sell the Timbits, which are apparently the holes of the donut. Who knows what they did with the Timbit before they invented the Timbit? Maybe just threw out the donut hole and said screw it. But yeah, with the bagel, the bagel, there's no such thing as a bagel bite, a bagel bit. The whole of the bagel is an absence, a pure absence. A pure unadulterated absence. Oh, maple syrup. Oh yeah, I eat maple syrup on everything. I don't know if that's typical of Canadians, but I put maple syrup on everything I eat. I put it on my salad. I put it in my lemonade. I put it on my oatmeal. Yeah, maple syrup is the best. If you've never tried maple syrup, you're missing out. Your life is not complete without maple syrup. Your life cannot be complete without maple syrup. I'm 100% sure of that. Yeah, oh yeah, you would. I probably go through about 2 liters of maple syrup a month. It's better than honey. Yeah, maple syrup is the best. We made a maple walnut bagel that was really good, and we should start making it again. We definitely need a maple syrup, something that's flavored with maple syrup. I don't know why we don't have it. I think maple and coconut are like two of the most they're two of my most favorite flavors in the plant kingdom. I don't know. I love coconut and maple syrup. If you get, I should combine those two and make a maple coconut bagel. I think that would be pretty good. Maple coconut bagel. That's the kind of flavor. That's a very millennial kind of flavor, I think. Maple coconut. Take two flavors that could never happen in nature, and that's exactly what the millennials love. Anything that can't happen in nature, it's completely unnatural and against the will of God, and then you have something that a millennial will love. Oh, coconut. Oh yeah, coconut. Yeah. Oh man, I want to do that now. Toasted coconut. Oh man, that sounds so delicious. I need to start my own bagel shop because I have all these ideas for like great flavors and sandwiches and stuff like that. But I'm not the actual owner of this business, so I don't make those kind of decisions. But if I were, there would be some experimentation going on. I want to make a yam flavored bagel. And I'll call it the Yamby bagel. The Yamby bagel. Yeah, I'll make a Yamby bagel, a maple coconut bagel, a chia seed bagel. This is what they look like before they're boiled and baked. That's what they look like before they go in the before I boil it and bake it. So they almost like get like almost 3 times the size of what they are when they're not. So now I have, excuse me, now I have 3 batches in the oven, 1 in the pot and 1 in the crate. It goes pot, table, boards, oven, onto the deck. Then I flip them, brown them one side, flip them, brown them the other side. I take them out and put them in the crate. Pot, table, boards, deck, crate. Can you get maple syrup in Sweden? I bet it's like $1,000 a liter there. It's pretty expensive here too, but. Hey, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. there more than that now? It's been 7 billion for like 30 years. I remember 7 billion was what they said when I was in like high school. Must be more than that now. Are we at, we must be in the 8 or 9 billion in. Seven seems too low nowadays. There once was a young man named Roland Pide who played the recorder when he wasn't baking bagels. One day he was walking through a park and playing his recorder to rest a while from all his baking, when suddenly he spied a corpse lying on the ground beneath a swarm of flies. He put down his recorder, walked over to the corpse, shooed the flies away, and covered the dead man with stones. Returning to his oven later that day, he found that his oven blade had gone on by itself and already baked half the bagels he needed. From that day on, Roland Pide was the happiest baker alive. He'd bake until he was tired, then he'd pull his recorder out of his pocket while his oven blade went on by itself. But Roland Pide lived in a town whose mayor did not admire his skill and was jealous of his fame. So the mayor devised a plan to rid the town of Roland. In the beginning he said that Roland was a good worker, but lazy. Next he said that Roland baked a whole lot, but badly. Then he accused Roland of being a sorcerer, and people turned on him. Therefore Roland Pide took his recorder and left his home behind. When Roland Pide came to a neighboring town, he went to all the business owners, but none of them would give him any work. Finally, he met an old busker and asked him for work to keep body and mind together. "Come along with me," said the old man, "and we will share all." So Roland Pide and the old man started going around and singing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves you well, although it's gold and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Sam Rockwell? Who's Sam Rockwell? Is that an actor? I don't think I've ever heard of anybody named Sam Rockwell. Everybody gave alms to the old man, but to Roland they said, "What is a young man like you out begging? Why don't you work for a living?" "Nobody will hire me," replied Roland Pide. "That's what you say. There's a king with so many hungry soldiers that he'll pay good wages to anyone willing to feed them." So Roland Pide went to the king's kitchen and took the old man whose alms he'd been sharing. The oven had never been used by anyone. Roland mixed the dough, then he rolled it into rings, then he boiled them, dressed them with seeds, and baked them until they're golden brown. Then he tossed them into a crate to cool down. Whenever Roland wearied of baking, he'd play his recorder. Once he was weary of playing his recorder, he would sing, "Baker, why do you speak? Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it is gold and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you you are. Hearing the singing, a princess looked out the window. She saw Roland Pine and fell in love with him. But she was a princess, and he a baker. The king would never consent to their marriage. So they decided to run away together. They fled at night in a boat. They were already on the high seas. When Roland remembered the buster, he said to his beloved, "We must fetch the old man, since he shared his alms with me. We can't go off and leave him like that." At that very moment, the old man came up behind the boat, walking on the water as though it had been dry land. Reaching the boat, he said, "We agreed to divide everything we had. Now I shared everything I own. Now you have the king's daughter. I must give half of her to me." At this, he gave Roland Pine a knife to cut his bride in two. Roland Pine took the knife with a trembling hand. "You are right," he said. "You are perfectly right." He was on the point of cutting his bride in two, when suddenly the old man stopped him. "Stop. I knew you were a just man. I am the dead man, mind you, whom you covered with stones. Go now, and may the two of you always be happy." At this, the old man walked away on the waves. The boat came to an island rich in all good things, with a princely palace awaiting the newlyweds. The one difference between Sam Rockwell and me is that Sam Rockwell can act. I guess if we look similar, that's all that we share in common. Because I'm no actor. I lack that ability. Is Sam Rockwell the actor from Avatar? I don't know if you're the same person out there. Explosive Braxton. Are you still there? Is that Sam Rockwell? Is he the actor from Avatar? Avatar? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I guess I sort of look like him a bit. Yeah. I wouldn't say he's my doppelganger. Very similar facial construction. Facial construction. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What saved Whaley with his lies and snare, old travelers who might find him posted there? And asked the road, I guessed what skull like laugh would break, what crutch could write my epitaph and pass by the dusty thoroughfare. If at his count I should turn aside to ominous track which all agree hides the dark tower, yet acquiescingly at a turn as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end astride, so much as gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost on Pentecopet that obstreperous joy success would bring. I heard a chime now to rebuke the spring my heart made, finding favor in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, feels begin and end the tears, and takes farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, and the blow fallen, no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near the graves be room enough for this, and one a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft been writ, so many times among the band to wit, the knights who to dark towers search addressed their steps, that just as fail as they seem best, and all doubtless now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, a hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path appointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into its close, and it shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch us astray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged to the plain after a pace or two, then pausing to throw back at the last view, over the safer 'twas gone, gray plain all round, nothing but plains the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such starved and noble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect a cedar grove, but chortle and spurge according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe. You'd think a burr had been a treasure trove. No, Penry inert to sing grimace, in some strange sort were the land's portion, See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly. In nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place. Calcine its clods and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chopped. The bents were jealous elves, who made the holes and rents in the dock's harsh leaves, bruised as they walk, all hope of greenness. 'Tis a brute must walk, pashing their life over the brute's intents. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair in leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked the mud, which underneath looked kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse, his every bone a stare, stood stupefied however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red gaunt and calloped neck astrain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty name. Seldom one such grotesque as this such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked, observe such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart. As a man calls for wine before he fights, I asked one draft of earlier, happier sights. Or if I could hope to play the part, think first, fight afterwards, a soldier's art. One taste of old times, that's all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold. An arm and mind to fix me to that place, that way he used. Alas, one night's disgrace, I wet my heart's new fire and left it cold. Giles, then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago when knighted first. An honest man should dare it, he said he durst. Good, but the scene shifts. Fall what hangman's hand pinned to his breast of parchment, his own boundary to poor traitors spit upon and cursed. Better this present than a past like that, back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can strain. Will the night send a howlet or a bat, I asked, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came. No tides congenial to the glooms. This as it frothed by, it might have been a bath of the fiend's glowing hoof, to see the wrath of its black eddies and spat with flakes and spoons. So petty yet so spiteful, all the long, low, scrubby alders kneeled over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit to rout despair, a suicidal throng. The river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by, deterred no whit. Which while they forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. Each step afield the spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby's shriek. Glad was I to reach other bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who are the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample could thus pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poison tank, or wild cats in a red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul surf. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footsteps leading to that horrid muse, and then out of it mad Druids set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves the Turk pits for his pastime, Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for? That wheel, or brake, not wheel, that harrow fit to reel men's bodies up like silk, with all the air of Tophet's tool, on earth left unaware, or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stub ground, once a wood, next to marsh it would seem, now mere earth. Desperate and done was, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rude bog clay and marsh, sand and stark black dirt. Now blotches rankling color gay and grim, now patches where salininess of the soils broke into mossy substances like oils. Then came a palsied oak, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it coils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening knot, to point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird, Apollyon's bosom friend, sailed past or beat his wide wings dragon pen, that brushed my cap perchance the guide I sought. For looking up aware I somehow grew, the plain and given place all round, the mountains with such names to grace with mere heights and heaps now stolen in view. How thus they surprised me solving you, how to get from there was no clearer case. Yet half I seem to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me. God knows when. In a bad dream perhaps. Here ended then progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time came a click, as when the trap shuts you in the den. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills, crouched like two bulls, locked horn in horde and fight. Well, to the left a tall, scowled mountain, dunce, goddard, and dozing at the very nuts, after a lifetime of training for the sight. Not see, when noise was not see, because of night perhaps, why day came back for that. Behind it left a dying sunset, kindled to a cleft. The hills like two giants in hunting lane, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, now stab an endless creature through the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers my peers, how such was strong, and such was bold, and such was fortunate, each of old, lost, one moment now the roll of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, to be the last of me, a living frame, for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them and knew them all, and yet dauntless, suddenward to my lips I sat in blue, child roll into a dark tower came. I know I practice it a lot. I know memory is this like, memory is this repetition. You gotta repeat it over and over again. What I do, my method is, before I go to bed, I'll memorize 2 or 3 lines of the poem that I'm trying to memorize, and then the subsequent day, I'll try to recite the whole poem in my head, and then eventually I do that over and over again until it's just like in my head forever, hopefully forever. It's just repetition. It's all it takes. Well, I'm getting a Charlie horse in my leg. I don't know why. Hell. Yeah. You wouldn't say it. You would say that if you knew how lazy I actually am. I could be doing so much more. The Starbuck Angels are they're gonna take up their station in heaven, purveying the liquid of the gods, the sacred liquid of gods. Starbuck should be a god. It should be like a mythological character. Starbuck, the god of caffeination. I love reading, and I love poetry. I've always loved poetry. One of the first books of poetry I ever read was a book of poetry by Jim Morrison when I was like probably 13 or 14 years old. I'm not actually that old. I'm not like contemporary with Jim Morrison or anything like that. He just happened to be a poet that I knew about, read about. Yeah, I've always been interested in poetry and reading, and I have a university degree in communication and culture, the minor in English and art. So it's also my educational background. What blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Adrian Rich is a really good poet. There's a poem called Diving into the Wreck. Check out Adrian Rich. I'm a big fan of Emily Dickinson. Any Victorian poet is good, pretty much. So like, I really like Robert Browning. Charles Algernon Swinburne. Lord Alfred Tennyson. Who else? Adrian Rich. Margaret Atwood's pretty decent. Italo Calvillo. That's one of my favorite writers in general. Italo Calvillo. Emily Dickinson, artists that are the Rossettis, Dante and Christine Rossetti. I like the classicals, like classical. I'm reading Paradise Lost right now, which is brilliant. I love Paradise. Oh man, John Milton. You should read that one if you haven't read that one yet. Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. Reading is so good. I love to read. Reading plants the knowledge seed. Dun 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 dun. my phone is gonna die. I better stop the broadcast.